The bipartisan talks just began. It's almost 1 week now and we are having many issues coming up. Today on this video, we want to talk about the composition of that team, the issues being discussed there. We'll have our own recommendations and of course check on the progress of those talks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to C45 TV. My name is Abel Bukwa. If this is the first time you're watching our videos, kindly make sure to subscribe, like and comment. The number of videos we produce, kindly go through them. And for those who've been there with us, thank you for the support that you've given us and helping us achieve 1,000 subscribers plus. Kindly, we are heading to 2,000. Make sure that you be part of us. Now, let me dive into the conversation of today, the issues that we've at hand here. Now, first of all, I want to say that the composition of the bipartisan talks, to me, I'm contented. Why am I saying so? These are the people who organize for the Mandamano in the country. These are the people, the Azimio people, the politicians who went to the streets to call for people to come out and demonstrate the issues to do with the cost of living. These are the people who went to the streets with the people to demonstrate. Now, when people come on board, like the church leaders, they are saying that they want to be part of these bipartisan talks. Some other groups have come on board, others went to Bomas of Kenya requesting to be allowed to join in. I want to say that they are not supposed to be there because they were not there at the beginning. Why should they come at this point? If they want a space, let them seek their own audience at different times. But at this point, the composition of the bipartisan talks is correct. Let's go to the issues that Azimio raised. I don't want to read through them, but I want to say that I really loved what Azimio was bringing on board, but the major thing that we need from there, it's purely, even if they could get rid of all other issues and remain with the cost of living, I could be okay. And that should be the center of this discussion, because even if we change the IBC, we change all these other people, if the cost of living is still high, the common man will not feel the talks. If the decisions that are going to be arrived at from the discussions are not going to touch directly the cost of living, then the talks shall not have been successful. Now, therefore, I want to say that the Azimio should get rid of these other things first and talk about the issue to do with the cost of living. Why am I saying this? The people went to demonstrate in the streets, and the moment C45 asked any of the people the questions about the reasons and why they were on the streets, one of them, they said it's the cost of living, the cost of unga, the cost of sugar, the cost of mboga, any other thing. The cost of life generally had gone up significantly, and that was what called them to go to the streets. Therefore, the issues of IBC and other things do not assist. Therefore, I want to tell the people of Azimio that the issues that you have on board, just concentrate on the cost of living. When checking what Kenya Kwanza brought on board through their team, I want to say that I'm disappointed exactly on what is happening there. I didn't want the government to bring out things as if they don't know what's happening on the ground. Kenyans are going through hard times. Not even the health sector is okay, not the education sector is okay, not even the food is okay. Everything in Kenya right now, it's in a mess. In fact, everything generally, it's really stressing them. So therefore, these people could have brought at least something, even if it's one, that at least touches the common manage, Mama Mboga, the people they used to talk about in the campaign. Therefore, I want to say that when it comes to the issues, they can abandon everything and talk about purely the cost of living, because that is what people need in the country right now. Now, after the talks, there are recommendations that you can come up with after analyzing exactly what is happening. There are things that I need to put across here. Now, one, based on my analysis, when I look at what happened during the Mandamano, Kenyans were killed. Kenyans really suffered. Properties were destroyed. Things were stolen from supermarkets. The butchery meat was taken from there. Roads were destroyed. We really incurred losses. And those losses could not even culminate to talks, but reduction of the cost of living, the scrapping of the finance bill, but still they didn't bear fruit. So I comment there should be no Mandamano in the country again. Raila should not call for Mandamano, because those ones that had occurred, despite the lives that were lost, despite the properties that were destroyed, despite the properties that were stolen from people's premises, still it has not achieved the target, that is reducing the cost of living. So therefore, this is what I want to say. When it comes to the cost of living, because it has not been touched, then Mandamano did not help. If it could have helped by now, the finance bill could have been scrapped. The government was not checking in the Mandamano. Instead, the people who suffered are the common manage, because who has been killed, whose properties have been stolen, who have lost family members, who have lost breadwinners in a family. It is the common manage, not the politicians, not the government at all. Now, again, another thing that I'm calling upon here is that the government and the police have now turned to be completely ignorant on the rights of the common manage, because we've seen people taken out of their homes, being beaten, some of them dying in hospitals, others immediately. People have been shot during the Mandamano, which means the government turned to be brutal to its people. where people are being killed. Some people are shot on the broad daylight, and others pretending to be news journalists, where they went and captured live on camera. So these are things that we are calling upon, that we don't need the mandamano right now in the country, because what we have seen and the results of it do not match. Even if it's one life that was lost, it did not achieve the target that was set, that is to reduce the cost of living. Therefore, based on the government that we have, the mandamano cannot bear fruits in Kenya. Another recommendation we can make from this is that the police must stand to be friendly to the people. The police must respect the people's rights. The police must take the pain that Kenyans are going through and say, yes, this is what they're going through, just expressing themselves. The kind of brutal killings that you've seen, the kind of maiming, the kind of beatings that you've seen on social media that were live on camera and the police did not care about it, must come to an end. This is a country where you can find your son, your sister, your brother, your mother getting involved in this kind of skirmishes, because we have people who have been shot right at the place of work, right in their hotels, right in their homes. People have been taken out of their homes, not even in the streets, and they've been beaten. This is not the Kenya we want to raise at this point. Therefore, from C45 TV, we want to completely condemn the police brutality and ask the police of Kenya to quit the issue to do with brutality. The other recommendation I can make here, that now that the two parties have decided to talk, first of all, we recommend that these people can seriously engage on serious talks to change the people's lives. They can at least understand whatever was happening before was not good. But there's one thing that I want to ask here. Let the abuses, the attacks on social media, in churches, in rallies, whichever place they go, the politicians attack each other, raising the temperatures in the country. They gain in every attack they make to each other. But I want to say that the person who suffers is the common manager. So therefore, I want to ask the politicians to keep off the lifestyle of going to funerals, churches, to attack each other, to stop. They have to stop this kind of a lifestyle and at least engage a friendly talk so that the Kenyans can start feeling a friendly mood in the country, engage with each other as friends, because the antagonism is slowly growing with those who are abused by this other group and those which are being abused by the other group. So it is an antagonism that is growing, which we must condemn. Lastly, I want to touch on the progress of the bipartisan talks. I want to say that I'm not impressed. Despite Raila said that they have 1 month, everything there is done in a very slow manner. Either Azimio or Kenya Kwanza is not taking the need for Kenyans as an urgent state. What is this, the technical team, going to sit down to discuss? Another conversation in a conversation. We must get rid of this nonsense. Let's have these leaders sit down to say this is what we want and that. Now, even the talks themselves, we didn't need them. They could have just sat down. That is the president and the opposition leader. Agree. The Kenyans are going through this. What can I do, my brother? The Kenyans are asking for this. What do you need in return? Stop mandamano, let me do this. Give me 4 months, I do this and that. So that we can have significant decisions on the table. When having Kenyans suffering and you're telling us you have 2 weeks, 3 weeks to decide on this and that, take to parliament, this and that. It's like you people, you're not understanding exactly what the common man, the mama boga down there, the boda guy is feeling. People are hungry here, and they're talking about having a certain team discussing within another discussion. Nonsense. Let's have these two gentlemen, that is the president and Raila Odinga, sit down and discuss on the issues that affect Kenyans. We need a progressive Kenya, not a stagnant one.